It's time to talk about Unga Bunga Man.
Unga Bunga?
Unga bunga.
Unga Bunga.
Unga
Unga
bunga.
Bunga.
Unga bunga. Unga.
Unga Bunga!
Oh, what the hell was that, guys?
Just Ultraman Blazar, man. We watched the first episode and it just unleashed the Ultraman inside all of us. Unfortunately, we're all humans, so we're all very primitive. Greetings, everyone's, and welcome to Ultra Galaxy Chat, the show where we talk about the current Ultraman show once again, which is Ultraman Blazar. I am your host, Godzilla, and with me are my wonderful group of friends. We got Lane, Jerry, Kaguya, Decker, and Blaze.
It's Ultraman Mizar.
Well, no,
Unga Bunga.
there's Blaze and then there's Blazar, so it's singular, plural.
Blaze, the cooler Blaze.
Blaze and the more monkey Blaze.
I've been seeing a lot of Stitch comparisons to Blazar, and I am okay with this.
Same.
So yes, we are talking about the first episode of Ultraman Blazar, but first, we got two news stories to talk about. Yeah,
News?
yeah. Remember Ultra News?
You do news?
Hey, Lane.
I'm allergic to news.
Remember we used to be on talk about news for like 40 to 50 minutes?
Yeah.
We derailed the whole thing.
I remember. Remember Star Wars?
I remember.
So, I guess, you know what? I think we're gonna go with the funnier news story first, and we'll talk about the bigger news story. So, a lot of people are like, "Guard, that's not funny," but I'm like, "Yeah, it's funny. It's actually really funny."
Fucking hilarious.
So apparently, actor Yusuke Kirishima, who played the primary human host for Ultraman Nexus, Himeya June, thank you. I've never seen Nexus yet. Apparently made a tweet recently finding out that the show got cancelled.
Oof.
Okay, there might be a simple answer to that, and that being the production crew, like the producers did not say that the show was canceled. And that, oh yeah, we only got like 33 episodes, so go ahead.
To be perfectly fair, also spoiler warning for Nexus, he did leave the show like halfway through. So it's perfectly fair that he didn't know.
Could have been like, oh yeah, I'm done being the first host for Nexus, and I hope the production still keep going. And then when the show ends, it's like, okay, the show's wrapped up. All right. Because it's 18 years later. Oh wait, you're telling me the show was canceled?
Also, to be fair, it wasn't obvious at first glance that it was cancelled. Like, it was rushed ending, but it did wrap up kind of nicely.
I thought the ending was okay. It was like a decent ending.
Yeah.
So you're saying if the show, like, say if the show got picked up for like a Super Imagination original series where it was like a sequel series for Nexus, and they got to wrap up those storylines, would you be more satisfied with that, or having the show end where it did?
I feel that if they try to do that, because the way the story went, I feel like, because the thing about making a sequel or a show that kind of got canceled, I mean, it did got canceled, but it wrapped up some of the main story. Making a sequel, because they had a sequel manga. Wait, I don't think it's a sequel manga. I think I just had a manga, but there was like a sequel novel, if I remember, where they had to fight the last monster that was supposed to be the final boss of the show. So they already did that. But if they would have had an additional episodes to wrap up the story, I feel like either it can kind of messed up how the show was going, especially with how Ultraman has been recently. But on the other hand, I think that even if we get a satisfactory conclusion, I don't think. I think people are just fine with how it ended, and plus the way it ended made it special. Because oh, it's the Ultraman that got canceled, but it was also the Ultraman show that still stick to what it was, being mature and a little bit dark. And because a lot of Toku shows, if you think about that, got canceled. Like I know Oranger was like near cancellation, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and that show to way to get ratings up, it changed the tone of the show from being serious to goofy. Nexus didn't really do that. When Nexus got canceled, they were like, we're still gonna be dark. We're gonna stay for mature. Sure, we're gonna change the setting because halfway through they changed from night fights to like daytime. But the tone of the show still stayed the same. So I think that even if they made a sequel, they might mess the story a little bit. Plus, at where Nexus is right now in terms of like lore, it kind of expanded to like different parts. Like Noah, like Zero met Noah. Noah was in Ultra Galaxy fight, so like if they made a sequel, I think they can mess it up. So I think it's fine that Nexus stays where it is right now.
I mean, Nexus also won for me because it fought in
Canada.
So
Yeah, Canada.
thank
Yeah.
you, Ultraman X, for that.
I think if they were to do more Nexus like TV content, what they would do is to make a like in between short series that bridges the next the next the next and the start of Nexus. So what happened in between? Because we get a lot of like exposition about it, but we don't actually see how that developed.
I just find it interesting that this news story popped up and I am legit like halfway through Nexus. Would I be happy to see more Nexus? Right now, yes, but maybe my mind could change once I'm done with the show.
Plus, Nexus has been going through different hosts.
Yeah.
Also, just to continue on with the actor, I when I saw that tweet, I'm like, who's this? And I looked up the account. I'm like, wait, that's June's actor? And I'm like, create account back in 2022. So he literally just joined social media recently. Also, I look at some of the images that he posted. I looked at his age. He's like 40 plus years old, and he looks very good for a 40-year-old.
That's just I think that's just an Asian thing.
And speaking of Asian things, so over the last month, Toho's been doing this countdown to the next Godzilla movie that all we knew was G. And we're all thinking, okay, we're going to get the next announcement like 7 o'clock in the morning. And we get the teaser, like countdown for it. It goes from 0 to -1, -2, -3. And we're like, what's going on? -4. You have to come back at 4 a.m. Japan time. It's like, oh man, wait a minute. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, our time. At least for Eastern Standard Time.
Hooray!
That's 3 a.m. for me and Kaguya here.
And lo and behold, the 30th Toho Godzilla live action movie has been announced. Godzilla Minus G. Or -1. Shit.
Minus G.
That's minus G. That's a negative G.
That's an okay
Go
title.
for G.
I think they should have just stuck with G. I really liked just G.
Godzilla minus G. Solve for Zilla.
Well, like I saw a tweet where someone was like, "Oh, what should we call this Godzilla?" Like, and they were like, "Should we call him -1, minus Goji, 0 Goji?" And I was just like, "No, just G. Just call him G."
Well, we all know what the toy marketing is going to call him. 2024 Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla 2.
No, this has nothing.
Electric
This-
Boogaloo.
This has nothing to do with Shin Godzilla.
He said that was in the same continuity.
No, okay. So, Lane, that news story that we talked about with the whole shared universe for Toho movies,
Uh-huh.
that has never been brought up ever again.
Oh, wow, fuck.
So what you're saying is someone lied on the internet.
Yes. You mean to tell
What?
me people lie on the internet?
What?
Never.
I just watched Shin Godzilla a couple months ago. It was good. I'm sad it's not doing anything else anymore.
So yeah, set in a post-war Japan, Godzilla Minus One will once again show us a Godzilla that is a terrifying and overwhelming force.
Because he's never been that before. He's never been a terrifying, overwhelming force until now.
He's been overwhelming. He's never been terrifying.
So
Shin
is
Godzilla
this-
is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
So is this
Okay,
like a
then.
remake of the original?
No, this is more of a from what I understand, takes place before, like the whole idea for this Godzilla movie is that it takes place literally right after the bombings.
Like the Hiroshima bombings?
Yeah, like the 2 atomic bombs.
Oh, fuck.
Because it was like, all right, Japan's at its lowest point. It's at 0. Nothing can get worse. What do you mean there's a giant lizard that's eating people and breathing fire? Okay, now we're at -1. We're worse off than we were.
Well, I guess nothing. There's no better way of making a freaking terrifying Godzilla movie and intense than trauma and PTSD.
At
That'll
least
do it.
nothing worse could happen. Ghidorah flies in and is like, fire that man.
So, the big takeaway from this movie is it's coming out in Japan on November 3rd, 2023. But then it's coming to the United States, hopefully Canada, not just the States.
Yeah, North America.
North America, hopefully Europe as well, on December 1st.
Hey, that's my birthday.
I will admit, I do like the poster for this movie. Just blank white with the G and just seeing Godzilla there. I like it.
And I like how people point out that the G can be Godzilla's tail if you look at it.
Oh, absolutely. That's like one of the first things I noticed.
Yeah, it's kind of a shape of Godzilla, and then the curve of the G forms the tail.
Ooh, God, December 1st is a Friday. If it's like available for theaters
Hey,
that weekend, you
Friday.
and I have to meet up together in person and go see it.
Yeah, of course, man. Freaking.
I'm not
Wh-
seeing this movie without you.
Which is funny because December 10th last year we watched Shin Ultraman together.
yeah. But no,
Coincidence?
We will see this movie together, no matter what.
Well, sneak.
As you all remember, Gar and I have kept ourselves updated and have watched every single piece of Godzilla media.
Well, not every theatrical piece of Godzilla media.
Every theatrical thing, yeah.
Lane saw
Every
Goziban.
piece of Godzilla.
Lane saw Goziban and was like, "The fuck is this shit?
Yeah, what the fuck's this shit?
What do you mean they're puppets?"
That's stupid.
But yes, you're probably not here to listen to us talk about Godzilla. You're probably here for us to talk about Blazar. And this is where the bumper would have been if this was old school Ultraranger. But you forget this is
If I had one!
You forget this is Ultra Galaxy Chat, where we just jump straight into it. Ultraman Blazar Episode 1 First Wave, released Saturday, July 8th, 2023, written by Keigo Koyanagi and directed by Kiyotaka Taguchi.
It's not a mouthful. Bazanga.
Zanga.
Sanga.
Oh, so I also have to make a quick mention that as of now, since its release on YouTube, it now has 4.1 million views on YouTube.
In the span of 3 days.
Yeah, I think I like this one.
Faster than Zen, I believe.
Didn't that the first episode of that have like a lot of views
Nope.
before it got deleted?
Not
It hit 1 million
Not
views
like
in a week.
this.
No.
Not like
No.
this. Like all the others got like like Zet and Trigger I think got over 1 million, but just over 1 million. Blazar is like, that's cute. Hold my beers.
I don't know how to
Let me,
feel about
let me
that.
double
'cause
that. No, triple that.
No, I do feel like they worked really hard on marketing for like Blazar, because
Yeah.
giving us as opposed to a certain other space themed toku in the West. This does good because they actually build up and give you a payoff with the marketing.
Wait, are you talking about Star Wars?
No,
Star
I'm
Wars?
talking about other
No, you
toku
said we know.
franchise.
Another
Yeah.
tokusatsu
It
franchise that's
starts.
space theme in the West?
It starts with a D. It ends with Fury.
Oh, Mask
I think.
Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Space.
I'm
Sheriff.
totally talking about that one.
Anyways, let's talk about the Power Rangers. I mean, the Global Guardian Force Japan team.
Oh, these guys are great.
I-
They know what they're doing.
Okay, so I had to really think of it. This episode's very simple.
Yeah.
There is no setup. Like, there is a setup, but it's not like your traditional setup. It's not like, la 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 la, everything's all peaceful. Hey, what's that in the sky? Oh no, it's a giant monster. What are we going to do? Oh, look, there's a thing up in the sky. Let me bond with you, child. Okay, yeah, we defeated the monster. None of that. You get none of that.
You get nothing! Good day, sir!
It literally starts with the assault team on a jet, like dropping off.
This first episode is the equivalent to those Godzilla fans that say, "I only watch it for the monster fights." That's what this is.
I guess it's probably fine to say, yeah, I didn't like this episode.
Shocking.
Really?
Oh my God, Blaze with the hot take. Oh no!
I didn't. Okay, well, I haven't been paying attention to some of the chats. I didn't know if everyone didn't like it or if it was just me.
Oh no, no, Blaze. Blaze, how does it feel? How does it feel to be the one that doesn't like the thing that everyone loves?
Let me just put it this way. When we saw that quick shot of Blazar peeking his little half of his head out of the side of the building, we all were like, "Holy shit!" We lost it.
Yeah, no, to get this out of the way, the night when we first watched this episode, whenever the Blazar popped up, and I know we're getting ahead, we collectively lost our shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And-
like, those grunts I'm obsessed with.
And I guess and to continue your point about the simplicity, this is a good example of simplicity working in its favor.
I guess since it's like you're watching Ultraman, you know what you're getting into. It's a giant monster. We'll explain its lore probably later.
Yeah, I've been waiting for months because I want to know a lot about the character shit and all of this, but this episode is entirely tell don't show because they're just like, oh, is that are we talking to the famous Captain Genta or Gento, whatever the fuck his name is? It's like oh, where did all these crazy stories come from? Captain, you know that if you were the same position as me, you'd say, get out of here, leave me to die. But no, you're staying here to rescue me, the injured man. It's like, let me meet this man before you start forcing his dick down my throat.
But then how are we going to have you come back for the second episode?
You know, like, I do think, like, as someone who has had a taste of how it works in, like, a military system, this is exactly how it goes. Like, this is actually how it goes. Rumors about people who pull, like, crazy stunts get talked about all the time. I do admit they go a bit clunky with, like, talking about his accomplishments by being both vague yet very on the nose at the same time. But I do think they did a good job of balancing and showing that Gento has the chops to back up what people are guessing him up to be. You know?
I mean, he's a goddamn commander, for fuck's sake.
I get it. Like, it's like, with him being the captain, it's very clear that, like, oh yeah, he's a big deal. People respect him, and, like, we need to show that. But it's like, can we have a minute to see these characters and get to actually like them before you just like, oh, are they gonna survive? And it's like, I don't know right now, nor do I really care because I don't know if I like them or not yet.
I mean, it's hard to do that when the entire plot of the episode was a kaiju is rampaging the goddamn city and we need to do something about it.
That's why I'm saying this
Yeah,
episode as a whole had bad writing.
I highly disagree, Blaze. I feel like this is to set up the sense of like scale and stakes that you are expecting from this show. Like with a lot of
Yes.
Toku, first episode is to hook you in. Second episode is where they start explaining what everyone is about. So it gives us that sense of scale by showing like, the soldiers trying to fight Bazinga. I'm calling him Bazinga because I don't care. Uh it reminds me of a very particular like video game series that is not available in like any English speaking medium ever. It's called Kyuei Toshi, which is a Japanese video game series where you play as a random person trying to escape a city that is experiencing a fight between kaiju slash Ultraman slash Ava slash whatever.
Oh, that's a City Shrouded in Darkness.
Do they have an English version of that?
No, we only got a title of it.
And apparently
Yeah.
it was like not what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, because apparently, like, all the IPs had to be, like, separated into, like, their own little segments. Like, you
Yeah, so we
didn't
couldn't
get
do,
any,
like,
like, actual crossover.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of like sense of scale and atmosphere, I feel like there was something similar there. And I feel like this will set the tone for the rest of the show, which is what I feel a first episode is supposed to do. Not to because if your first episode is meant to set up characters, it's gonna be a lot of talking heads about what is this character about, what is that character about. You're not gonna get to anything about what the show is about.
See, I disagree with that because of Zet. Zet had a shit ton of action, had a little bit of talking. We got to see a single moment from every single major character to get a good glimpse of what their personality is, and then a major fight scene. This needed a tiny bit of character stuff just to meet the people that we're going to be cheering on for the next like 25, 30 episodes. Like I get it, like they're going for realism. Like, oh, there's not going to be a 15-minute drama scene every single day for these people, and then a 5-minute fight scene where they beat it flawlessly and save the day. But honestly, and I know that's what they're going for this season, like a lot more quote unquote realism. That's not what I'm into Toku for. I'm not into Toku for like, oh, this is how it would happen in the real world. I'm into it for, hey, let's like go a little bit crazy, stretch your mind a bit, and have some fucking fun.
Well, I wouldn't really call this realism. Because remember, you still got the giant monsters, you still got Ultraman, and you got lasers flying around with a bunch of missiles. I would say the better word is grounded. Like, it's a bit more grounded in its approach.
In all the interviews they had been talking about, I think with the director who said like, oh, like when we designed the Blazar race, it was like, oh, it can't look like a toy. It can't look like it can't look like it can't do anything fun. It's got to look like an alien artifact that is mysterious and everything. It's like, okay, you can do that, but you can also have a little bit of fun with it, and like you're already making a show about kaijus.
I'll note one thing is that I didn't like how it just kind of like popped out of fucking nowhere. I was just like, what?
But that's to lead into the mystery of how does he have it?
Yeah.
Why does he get to have it? It's the idea of planting seeds for future storytelling.
We don't really have any major plot for this show. Because the only thing we know about the show is that we got a defense group, tigers are going to appear, they got to stop it. That's it. There isn't a overarching villain.
There isn't, like, so the mystery is the reason we're kind of staying for the show.
And you also have to remember, this is Taguchi with full range. He doesn't really have to say anything to Bandai, nor does he really have to say anything to Subaraya Productions itself. They're letting him have full range, so if he wants to have his first episode just to set up the atmosphere of this show, then let him be.
I get it. It's just like to piggyback off of the planting seeds or stuff before, like you were saying earlier. If you're gonna plant seeds, till the ground a bit first.
Okay, Blaze, I have a question for you. Would you be
Yes.
less mad if this episode was not episode 1, but instead they called it
Oh, yeah,
episode
exactly.
0?
If this was episode 2, if this was episode 2,
No, no, no,
perfect.
no, 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 no. He
No,
said
no,
episode
Blaze,
0.
as in like a
Oh, if this was,
prologue.
if this was episode 0, yes, 100%. This would be a good like. This was a good trailer because honestly, watching it, it felt like it was 15 minutes.
I got something to point out. When they had the press conference like a month ago, the people that were there actually watched the second episode.
Yeah, because it's like we can't show you the first episode because we want all of you to be amazed by it at first. Which, if I had any nitpicks with the show, I'm not really a fan of Bazinga's design.
No, me neither.
It's too clunky for me.
I like that. It's
I'm not a huge fan of Sheldon Cooper.
I'm a fan of younger Sheldon Cooper, but
I mean,
Young Bazanga.
I mean, hey, even if you don't like it, they already announced that there's like 10 more new kaijus.
oh yeah, and
They
like
look cool.
like from their designs, I really like them. I'm just not a fan. I think it's just the color palette of Bazanga and how this entire episode was set during the night and how
Yeah.
you didn't really get to see like a whole lot of him. But I guess that's supposed to be the reason for it. I'm not sure.
He also sounds like a frog.
Even
But
though it's
yeah,
supposed to be like a lobster.
So it's called the space
Crustacean.
crustacean. So I guess it's supposed to be like space ebra or something.
Probably just a big old mix of like various types of like crustaceans.
Also, its antennas remind me of like old school Naranga, where he would have the antenna that shoot lightning beams, but he did not do that this episode.
Funny you mention that. So,
Just-
and this is just going on for the toy line. So, there's only been 3 announced so far, but there are, I guess, vinyl figures of 3 of the kaiju, and they have, like, I guess, more articulation and features. The one for Bazonga has the shell arms move and the horns antenna moving.
Yeah, because if it moves forward, it gets angry.
And it shoots
When
lasers.
the antennas move forward, when the antennas shoot forward, it make it increases its range.
This is the first time in the Ultra series where we don't have an opening for the first episode that I know of.
The first time, really.
Because like I'm like, wait, what about Cosmos? Nope, that has an opening. Nexus? Yep. ABS? Yep. Max?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, a lot of the hate say all starts the first episode with the opening.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just checking bases on because I didn't watch those shows yet. So I'm like,
Yeah, even all the new gen starts with an opening.
I mean, heck, the episode literally ends before the ending with the title card we see at the beginning.
So
Yeah.
it is kind of like an episode 0, like a pilot. It's a pilot episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of
think-
keeps you just kind of like on your toes the whole time. You're like, okay, we start like it's these guys in this plane, and like, where are they going? It's like, oh, it's a kaiju attack. They're like the special backup, and one of the guys nervous, and one of the other one's like, it's okay, kid, we got Captain What's His Face with us. He's a legend. We'll be fine.
And then he proceeds to brain blast his plans.
It's okay. He's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch in English. We'll be fine.
don't worry, guys. I got this.
Also, he has like Jimmy Neutron abilities because he basically can like think of multiple scenarios and then pick the best option.
Okay, I think that is gonna tie in with
Blazar.
Blazar himself, because every time you see that scene, we see like red and blue like blood veins when with the images in his head.
That's a Blazar.
So that's an interesting thing. So what we can see is there's parallels to like our main character and our main Ultraman. So obviously Blazar is some kind of like primitive being and very primal, and he's kind of like one of the first shots we see him, he jumps up to the top of a fucking building and he's hanging off of it and he's like motioning his arm at the kaiju, like trying to intimidate him and shit. And then you have Captain, who's very smart and strategic and very calm. So obviously these two are parallels to each other because like he's smart and then he's more the brawn. So I like
He's
that.
smart, he's dumb.
So who
But-
knows? Maybe as the more times he becomes Blazar, he'll kind of like, shift his intelligence into him or something, and then Blazar will become smarter.
Blazar will slowly start to integrate like Gento's knowledge and intelligence into his own like battling style. So I'm thinking this makes me think: is Blazar like a being that's just seeking out intelligence to evolve himself, which is why he suddenly showed out of nowhere and attached himself to Gento?
The only other time we know his existence was that astronauts has been seeing him in space for like 60 years.
Do you get it? It's a reference to how this is Subaru Productions' 60th anniversary date.
Also, they just straight up call him Ultraman. They're like, oh, he looks like Ultraman.
Because what have we learned about Ultraman? It's a universal knowledge.
It's like the universal greeting. Everyone just knows it.
I like that one soldier just goes, Ultraman.
I mean, Gar, you say that, and I don't see Blazar walking up with a ball weep grana weep needy ball anytime soon.
Speaking of Universal, another trivia note for this episode. Skyhunter's the name of the jet from Ultraman the Ultimate Hero, or Ultraman Powered, and Ulysses was one of the robot members of the Ultra Force from Ultraman The Adventure Begins, or Ultraman USA.
They were references.
Are they referencing that the show is international?
Oh my god!
What?
Nick,
Oh,
yes.
Holy shit.
A lot of parts of this episode, if you think about it, can be references to a lot of like things. And one of the things that I noticed was that it references a lot of first episodes of different Ultraman shows.
I mean, one of the first references I picked up was that it gave me vibes of the Night Raid scene from Nexus.
Yep.
One of my favorite... Well, it's not really a reference, but I want to say it's more of like a tribute in the sense of how Blazar fights the kaiju. He's more... What's the word I'm looking for? He grapples more. It's like come here, like get over here. I'm gonna actually like throw like old school Ultraman. How like it's like old school wrestling.
Like very like backyard wrestling.
Oh, that I just had thought but I meant to say earlier, but I forgot. Like at various points it looked like the captain was like slightly in control, like he was looking like he looked like at his hand and was like, what the hell is going on? So this just made me have a thought. What if Blazar each episode is going through the captain's memories and like evolving the fighting style? And this is the fighting style of a child having a brawl in the playground.
I like to think of it as like a Bruce Banner Hulk relationship.
Yeah.
Because you brought that up when we were trying to get theories after we watched it the first time.
Yeah, where it's like Blazar's aggressive, he's rough, but like he looks over and Gento's probably talking to him in his head of like, that's my crewmate, we gotta save him.
Blazar, you gotta swim us around, man. We need you. No!
What do you mean, bruh?
What do you screw you big gray asshole?
Come on, Blazar. Come on. Bruh! What do you mean, bruh?
And if that... So, back to the toy real quick. Yeah, it was hacked, and there's supposedly it's a final form leak. Yeah, it could be a case of, before it gets his possibly final form, he'll have a moment of live and let live.
We figured it out.
I mean, we do kind of know Blazar's intention.
And the brains and the brawn.
Because in the episode when Blazar noticed that one of the members would like fainted, its instinct was to growl at the kaiju, at Bazanga, in like a from what people say, like
it's an intimidation factor.
Yeah, it's like a mom like growling at someone who's entering their territory.
Blazar is very feral.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
I mean, his first action was to jump on a building.
Yeah.
Can't get me up here, bro.
No, and then at some points, like you see him like kind of like roaring at him, like growling at him, trying to be like intimidating, and I was just like, holy shit, this is so cool.
I mean, since we're talking about Blazar, do we want to briefly mention how the first transformation went?
The fact that there is no transformation sequence, it's just
Yeah.
Gento looks at his wrist. The fuck's this? The fuck is this? What?
It forces him to fucking change.
Yeah, the fucking force lightning. And like, we don't get a rise, but I guess there is a rise that we'll see in the future. But like the building's coming onto him, and they grab it, and it just they lift it up. His head turns around the building, and a lot of people made the Kamen Rider Garen reference meme.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what are you just standing there watching? No, I love that. I love that shot. Like my favorite still is when Gene first transformed, and you just see like his head like lifting from like the perspective of like an office building. Like that shot is just like one of my favorites in the franchise. But, like that one of Blazar just kind of peeking his head, looking over it. Just that was so cool.
And then Blazar did the unthinkable. He grabs Blazanga's arms, and while we're all watching it together, we're like, rip off his arms! Rip him off! He rips off the
Like, again, like we're watching this, we're like, yeah, Blazar just went full Amazon there.
That's what he is. He's basically the Kamen Rider Amazon of Ultraman.
Without the biting.
Yeah,
Doesn't bite.
Gar was telling me that's apparently Zena's actor, like the suit actor for Blazar. He just decided to try the grunts.
He's both the voice and the suit actor.
Yeah, because like he was only doing the voice on set, but then like Taguchi brought him aside one day. He's like, "Do you just want to do the voice? Like go into the ADR room and just pre-record all of it?"
Let the man in the Ultraman be the Ultraman.
I know. So proud of him.
I liked a lot of like the noises, like just him growling, the grunting, the little whistling sound that came from when he shot his like little beams at him.
He also has a wind tunnel where he pulls a spear out of.
Yeah, they officially stated that is his finisher. There's no like crossed arm laser shooting finisher. That is his finisher.
No, how I've seen it is it's just a beam that like an Ultraman would usually fucking shoot. Instead, he just decides to throw like a fucking spear.
The spiral
cool.
parade.
Fucking underhands it.
Which he summons out of a black hole from his palm.
Wind tunnel.
No, I think that's supposed to be an act like him like pulling light out of the Blazar.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. It like when he flies away though, the sonic boom in the air.
And like the faint like red and blue trail.
Yeah.
I like how the red and blue trail was only on his left side. Like I don't like the design, but I like how they're being consistent with that.
It's war paint. Like I didn't realize it. Like that's why like we first talked about Blazar. And like we first saw him and I was just like, oh yeah, he's really like that's cool design, like whatever. And then Gar just like before we watched the episode, Gar just drops information to me saying, "Oh, Lane, he's supposed to be like a primal, like a caveman almost." And I just went, that is so fucking cool. I'm really excited to watch this now.
The colors being the war paint, they say the big crystals are supposed to be like scars he acquired.
Yeah, they're like battle scars because like Lane, do you remember Kaiser Belial?
Yeah.
And how he had marks on his face?
Yep.
That's essentially supposed to be like Blazar, but it's like worse.
Hmm. And then I just like theorized, like, oh, what if that's like the same shit on Gunga? He's like from the future. And then like Gar theorized, or like a bunch of us theorized that like, oh, maybe Blazar's like from Gunga's like planet, but like in the past, he's like an ancestor.
Or since Gunga's in the future, he's present day Gunga. Or like not Gunga per se, but like a member of Gunga's race.
Ultraman Gunga.
Ultraman Gunga.
Ultraman Gunga.
That's the title of the episode. Last bit of trivia. Since this show is going for a non-legacy gimmick route, There is no Navi segment at the end of
What?
the
We're not gonna
episodes.
get a segment showcasing every single Ultra Stone that we get.
No,
Because he won't use them.
yeah, because so apparently
I-
Bandai and Tsuburaya made a deal. Okay, you can make legacy gimmicks, but we're not putting it into the show.
Oh wow!
And they're like, to be fair, we do have Ultra Galaxy Fight, which is just a giant celebration of our legacy heroes. And because like the president of Tsuburaya right now acknowledged that, yeah, the legacy gimmicks are starting to get old, especially now that we're 10 years into doing new Ultraman stuff. It's time for a literal fresh start.
A nice little
We
break.
haven't the legacy stuff hasn't been really important for 2 years now. They've just had them.
You know what I just realized? Like, it's funny. I was listening to the episode of Ultraranger on the way to dinner tonight earlier today, and like I was talking about this with Gar years ago. This is like the Ultraman I've been kind of waiting for. Just one where it's just one Ultraman. He's on his own. He has no like dependency on other past Ultras. He doesn't use a gimmick that incorporates the powers of other Ultras. He's just one fucking thing.
What episode was that?
I can't. Oh my god.
Was it before Zet?
It was definitely when we were still finishing Taiga.
Okay, so yeah, it was like 2019. I think it's
So,
because like the new gen Ultra bracelets thing made no sense to us.
Oh,
And the legacy gimmick for that one makes no fucking sense.
no, Taiga's Toyland sucked.
It sucks and it was pointless.
And people have been making jokes like strapping it to their waist, making it look like a Kamen Rider belt, and then people have made like animations of like using the changer as like different other Toku heroes. And it's so
perf.
funny. It looks like a fucking like a rider belt. It's like a Showa era rider belt.
I don't know how to feel about all of it because I like some of the retro stuff. I like learning about a lot of these old Ultras through some of these toy lines, and because the past 2 seasons have been basically soft reboots of older shows, they haven't used the legacy gimmick. It's just been, we're gonna basically do this show over again with like a slightly different thing, while also saying, those old shows happened, and this is how they're influencing the new show and the new timeline. It's like, how do I put it? Like I like a little bit of legacy, like an acknowledgement, and it kind of sucks that I guess we might not be getting that anymore.
Well, no, we're gonna get it in the spin-off material. We're just not getting it in like the main show.
Definitely a few years down the road, we're going to get another son of another Ultraman series. Because that shit always does well.
I Ultra Fusions.
I give it 3 years, because in 3 years, that'll be the 60th anniversary of the franchise.
Yeah, for me personally, I think this is a breath of fresh air. I think this is something we've been needing, and this is something we need right now. Because, like, Trigger and Decker were just, like, Tiga and Dyna remasters, like reimaginings, and I was like, I've already seen Tiga and Dyna. I don't need to see it again.
Decker is different.
I know, no, so I've heard, and you know what? I think I might go back and actually watch, like, finish Trigger, watch all of Decker, just so I can keep myself caught up.
Yeah, I was also thinking that we really should talk about Trigger just to close that gap.
But Blazar, for me personally, I feel like this is something that, like, we need right now, and like I welcome it like so much. He's so cool. It's such a unique, different design from like a regular Ultraman, which I always kind of like. That's why I like how Jeed looks different from everyone else. That's why like Nexus looks cool, because I like the kind of helmet design he's got going on. So I like when Ultraman look different.
I can't wait to see the figure arts of Blazar.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
I was about to say, Lane, is it because they're gray?
I mean, that's an aspect like that. I always say, like, I feel like Ultraman was like another calling for me in another lifetime. So, like, who knows? But like,
gee, it's like you're born on the same day or something.
But I will say I've been kind of falling out of Ultraman in the past couple of years, especially when I moved away from Gar. But now, thanks to I think this and us starting our Cosmos show soon, I feel like my love for Ultraman has blossomed again. So I'm very happy.
It's
Hell, this is the first Ultraman toy I bought in 2 years. The last thing I bought was Trigger's thing, and I sold it to Gar because I didn't fucking care about it anymore.
you gave me as a Christmas
Dang.
gift, and even I feel like I got gypped.
Take this shitty gun thing.
Oh,
I
thank.
got it for free, and even I want my money back.
The,
Billion.
no, you know what it is? It's the Bart with the golf game. You got me.
You're just thinking it's like the X Divisor or something. You're like,
It's the fuck-
oh yeah. Oh, you think it's like the Ultra Replica Spark Lens?
Oh,
I like the spark lens. I like the gut spark lens.
So
No, it's like
I am here for my Oonga Boonga Ultraman, and I welcome him amazingly. Also, we got a cool hot chick in the shorts and the hoodie with a bazooka, so that was cool.
that was Emmy.
Gar was fucking gushing over her.
it just
No.
You
No.
literally pause at a scene with her thighs, and it's like she got shorts. She's on shorts.
What would Liha say, Gar?
return it.
Remember
Yeah,
Liha?
Gar.
Liha would point her sword at me and say, "Return it."
Yep.
Okay, now I gotta make that meme where it's the dude with the chick and he turns around to look at the other chick.
I mean,
Yeah.
and
Gar,
how-
Liha, New
since you mentioned her, if we're being technical, we have 3 Scar members make a cameo. 2 members make a cameo because we have Gento, of course. The girl in the shorts, that was Emmy, and we did see Teruaki with the other group.
Yeah,
So we're halfway with Scarred.
Yeah, the other two is like the ones that made the robots in the pilot.
Oh, that's fucking right. I forgot we're getting like a fucking dinosaur robot. That's
Yeah,
Earth
Earth Garrett.
God damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I think
Maybe I should stick around.
I think we'll save that for next time.
Yeah.
Maybe I should stick around
I
until.
hope the first time it shows up, like it tries to team up with Blazar, and Blazar just fucking destroys it. Another kaiju!
I do want to say, I find it real stupid that he has the Blazar Stone with him 24/7, but the brace disappears every so often. Because there's gonna be an episode where the entire focus is that he lost it somewhere, and then like someone finds it and gives it back to him, and that's how they find out he's fucking Ultraman. Like,
I'm glad he won't be walking around with this giant fucking thing on his wrist constantly. At least in Zed with like the metal
case.
holder, it was like, oh, only we can see it. Like no one else can see it.
and then Decker was like, "Wait, everyone can see that?" It's like, I put bandages in here,
I keep band-aids in this thing.
Keep Band-Aids and
Yeah,
which
this
I
very
still-
not card storage thingy.
I still want to get that card storage thing because it's still the perfect size for a Yu-Gi-Oh extra deck.
You can only hold. Okay, yeah, I'm about to say it only holds 30 cards, but okay.
Yeah, I only needed to hold 15.
Blazar's battle pose.
Bow.
Bow and then proceeds to fucking ravage the kaiju.
I bow to your murder.
Again, it's the SpongeBob meme of boy.
Now and everyone memeing it, being like, "Oh no! If he does that, run for your life."
All I'm just saying.
Peter Parker doesn't speak.
All I'm just saying, Subaraya. Ultraman Blazar versus Redman at Subaraya Convention 2023.
I watch it.
I'd pay to watch
I would
that.
watch it too.
cool.
Red
I
the
want to
knife.
see 2 murderers on. I want to see 2 kaiju murderers on screen.
No, you just see Redman show up, like he's like he does his pose and intro and everything. Then you immediately just see Blazar's fucking light spear just fucking right through him, like no hesitation.
The fact that they both finish off their kaiju,
With spears.
kaijus with a fucking spear.
Well, this has been Ultra Galaxy Chat, episode 16, Ultraman Gunga.
Gunga.
Ultraman Gunga.
Gunga,
Booga
gunga,
booga.
And
gunga.
so we're not doing what we did with Decker, where it's 2 episodes a week, because as of this recording, I still have 3 more episodes to do with that. So we're just gonna do them in batches. So next episode won't be out until like the beginning of August, and then the beginning of September, etc., etc. Mainly because I think that's just easier to do. It's easier to do one video a month than 2 videos a month.
Agreed.
Plus, that gives Lane and I more time talking about Ultraman Cosmos.
Hell yeah. High five.
And until next time, everyone, schwa for now.
Schwa for now.
Brush your teeth.
Boonga boonga.
Boonga boonga.
Yeah, he does say schwa. Oh my god, imagine the final episode is him doing the schwa.
Yes, as he's flying away.